Man, I had no idea Chicago's public schools was moving like that. Damn what the people are saying, damn what everybody else is saying. We gonna pass this because we need some money. What's going on YouTube? It's your host, Bruce GNT, and we're here to talk about the Board of Education over there in Chicago. They said, hey, look, we don't have time to be discussing and arguing about what we're gonna do, okay? And they secretly kind of, I guess, impose raising taxes on the Chicago people. I'm a little bit confused by it, so we're gonna jump right in.
So it turns out Chicagoans' property taxes will be going up after all.
The Chicago Board of Education took action today in a secretive meeting that is raising major questions. Political reporter Paris Schutz has the latest.
Yeah, Dawn and Scott, this is a public meeting and there was notice, but it's almost as
So it turns out Chicagoans' property taxes will be going up after all.
The Chicago Board of Education took action today in a secretive meeting that is raising major questions. Political reporter Paris Schutz has the latest.
Yeah, Dawn and Scott, this is a public meeting and there was notice, but it's almost as if Chicago Board of Education President Sean Hardin didn't want the public to know about this today, even though state law mandates that it's public. Now, the board voted 15-5 to increase property taxes on Chicagoans by $25 million. That's the max allowed under state law that puts a cap on yearly increases. And it's a characteristically common vote for CPS. It typically does this every year. This year, shrouded in mystery, as Board President Hardin first canceled the vote at a meeting earlier this month and then put it back on the agenda at the last minute after Mayor Brandon Johnson's city budget was resolved. Now, the school district...
That sounds shady as hell. I don't care what anybody says. That sounds shady as hell. And not only that, is there no way to hold him accountable for this? Because I'm under no illusion that the reason he canceled it and then at the last second put it on because he kind of wanted to catch people off guard and who knows, have things swing in his direction. But you mean to me you could just do that and then that's it? Because it's supposed to be public. So it's supposed to be public and you didn't make it public. What happens then? You could just do that. That's kind of wild. And I wonder, because remember, when it comes to Chicago Public School, and I think the teacher union, right? Brandon Johnson is a former teacher. I think he's still like kind of intermingled with them a little bit. So allegedly, I'm just kind of wondering, do you think there was some whispers, some talks back and forth behind the scenes? I mean, I don't know. Just something I'm thinking about, something I want you guys to think about. Funky stuff going on.
Is banking on the money to help balance its budget. In addition to TIF surplus money, board member Jennifer Custer says this money will be put to good use.
Today's levy vote is an investment in our children and the future of Chicago Public Schools, and I will always vote to fund our schools.
But Carlos Rivas, one of the 5 no votes, says it comes at a time when Chicago families are reeling from high costs and higher property taxes, which is something that Mayor Johnson promised to avoid.
This is something that, even if it is $16 on my home, it is something that lots of families can't afford, and it just adds to the compounding effect of the large increases in their taxes.
And an outside group called Urban Center had this reaction, quote, their quiet action today at a board meeting few knew about during the holiday season, and conveniently, after the mayor's failed budget, despite his claims of protecting Chicagoans from property tax increases, only serves to demonstrate board members' contempt for taxpayers who continuously foot the bill to pay for the demands of the Chicago Teachers Union, a Johnson ally. And now to make matters...
Like I said, if y'all in Chicago are not opening your eyes, looking around and going, wait a minute. Like in California, they playing in your goddamn faces. I don't know what can be said. And the most insulting part about it, the most egregious part about it, is that you guys are not going to do anything about it. You're not. You know what's going to happen, though? Donald Trump is going to do something, and then guess what? You guys are going to have another No Kings protest. That's what you're going to do. Or he's going to talk about maybe sending ICE or National Guard, which he probably isn't. But, for the sake of argument, let's say he would. Y'all going to protest that shit. Y'all going to show up there and be like, yeah, we're fighting for the people. While y'all going broke. That's what y'all going to do instead. Y'all not going to stand up for this. Y'all not going to say, hey, whoa. Y'all digging in my pockets. I ain't got much. Y'all not going to do that. And you know what else you're going to do? You're going to ridicule the people that look like me, that have something to say about it, holding people to task, holding people accountable for it, because it's effing up y'all money, not my money, y'all money, and y'all going to call them all different types of names. That's what you're going to do. Playing right into their hands, looking like a goddamn fool. But like I always say, If you like it, I love it. Continue doing what you're doing.
Stranger, I'm told by multiple sources today that Board President Hardin called members into separate group meetings to complain about leaks to the media, namely a supposed leak to yours truly, revealing that this meeting, a public meeting requiring public notice, was scheduled and would take place. I'm told President Hardin vowed to force the resignation of any board member who he discovered leaking this info.
Yeah, I'm moving like the mafia out there. Damn. I didn't know. I thought that type of shit was stayed in the streets, but apparently not. It's in y'all government as well. Look, in a more serious note, that's worrying. And the reason why it's worrying is because it tells me that there's an interconnected system within your guys' government where they're doing stuff in front of your faces and behind your back. And there's a coalition of people coming together saying, hey, look, keep your mouth shut. And when you don't, we're going to have problems. I'm going to mess with your money. Y'all not hearing that and thinking that's kind of crazy? Y'all not thinking that's weird? Y'all no? A public meeting that's supposed to be known to everyone wasn't public and wasn't known to everyone. And then once it was leaked, because I don't know how you could leak something that's supposed to be public, but sure. He said, and apparently he brought people in and said, hey, look, I'm going to find out which one y'all niggas did this shit. And I'm going to force y'all to resign. Look, man. That is wild. That's wild. But like I say, look, there's gonna be another No Kings protest. Hands off the money of the government and all this other type shit. We got people in the background taking y'all money, slapping y'all silly and shit. It's nothing else for me to say. It's nothing else for me to say because it's right here. It's right here. And for those Chicagoans that live in that life, you feel it in your pocket every day. Every day. But y'all don't want to hold y'all politicians accountable. Whatever. Like I said, y'all like it, I love it. Well, that's it for this video, guys. You already know what to do. If you enjoyed it, leave a like. Comment down below, tell me your thoughts. I'm not going to ask whether or not you agree with this, because obviously, hopefully you don't agree with something like this, because I think this is kind of shady and funky. But what do you think, like, really went on? You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, all that's pretty convenient. Do you feel like some back deals are made? Allegedly. And do you feel like, you know, some way, somehow, some people are getting paid off, some people getting money? You know what I'm saying? Let me know down in the comments below. That's it for now. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.